Angles can be measured in radians as well as degrees. The phase difference between two waves is also measured in radians. What is phase difference, and what does it tell you about two waves? To understand this, we need to understand how to convert between degrees and radians, understand what is meant by phase and by the expressions in phase and in antiphase. Recall that the phase difference between two sine waves of the same frequency is an angle. The radian is a unit for measuring angles. This circle has radius r, and so its circumference is 2 pi r. A radian is defined as the size of the angle that subtends an arc of a circle equal to radius r. So, the angle theta is an angle of 1 radian. An angle of 2 radians subtends an arc of length 2r. There are 2 pi radians in a whole circle because the circumference is 2 pi r. So an angle of 360 degrees is 2 pi radians. Halving this, 180 degrees, is pi radians. Halving this again, an angle of 90 degrees, is the same as pi divided by 2 radians. Other common angles are 45 degrees, pi divided by 4 radians, 30 degrees, pi divided by 6 radians, and 60 degrees, which is pi divided by 3 radians. To convert any angle theta from degrees to radians, multiply by 2 pi and divide by 360. To convert any angle alpha from radians to degrees, multiply by 360 and divide by 2 pi. A wave is a periodic disturbance or a pattern of repeating cycles. The phase of the wave tells you how far through a cycle it is at a certain time. Two sine waves with the same frequency are in phase if they are always at the same stage in their cycles. If they have the same amplitude and arrive at the same place at the same time, constructive interference occurs. When the two waves are in antiphase, which means they are exactly out of phase, then each point in the cycle for one wave is shifted by half a cycle for the other wave. If the two waves arrive at the same place at the same time, destructive interference occurs. The phase difference between two waves is an angle, usually given the symbol phi and measured in radians. Here you see two sine waves that are in antiphase. The waves are sine theta and sine alpha. The circles show the size of these angles so that you can see how they change as the waves progress. Notice that alpha equals theta plus pi. The difference between theta and alpha is always pi. So the phase difference, phi, equals pi radians. If the phase difference is 2 pi, then the waves are in phase. In this example, the phase difference is pi by 2. The second wave is a quarter of a cycle ahead of the first wave. Angles can be measured in radians, where 2 pi radians equals 360 degrees. To change from degrees to radians, multiply by 2 pi and divide by 360. To change from radians to degrees, multiply by 360 and divide by 2 pi. The phase difference between two sine waves of the same frequency is an angle, usually expressed in radians. Two waves are in phase if they have a phase difference of 0 or 2 pi, and exactly out of phase or in antiphase if they have a phase difference of pi radians.